And so I was visiting the museum called The Broad in LA for the first time with my cousin, and it was amazing. I definitely recommend it. It was my first time going, so if you haven't visited The Broad, I highly recommend checking out the Infinity Room. It's very beautiful. It's a small space that you can enter with a bunch of lights for like 60 seconds, maybe even less. I believe the tours are free. You just have to stand in line ahead of time. And yeah. Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about 5 ways to feel better about yourself. And the first way is giving yourself credit where credit is due. And this is important because when you don't give yourself credit for the good things that you do, you're essentially staying at the same place, or even worse, you're bringing yourself down. And you don't want to do that to yourself. You want to bring yourself up. By giving yourself credit where credit is due, you're owning all the good things that happen to you, the good things that you're accomplishing in your life. It gives you just that bit more confidence, if not a lot more confidence, for the good things that you're proud of yourself for. Although we tend to have this bad habit of not really accepting compliments from others or even complimenting ourselves, we make it a bad habit of bringing ourselves down when instead we should be giving ourselves credit for the good things that have actually happened, good things that we've actually done. And this is also something that you actively have to do. That's why it's a habit. In order to break or change a habit, you simply replace it with another one, an even better one, and actively do it. The second way is to learn how to trust yourself. In learning how to trust yourself, you're learning how to become more confident in yourself. And that takes some time getting used to. But it's like that saying where you are your own best friend. When you've got friends and family around that aren't exactly supporting you the way that you need to, and you're the only one who knows what you actually need in your life most of the time, whenever you don't have a friend or family member around to give you that kind of support and love that you need, you've got yourself. You are your own best friend. And it's really good to train yourself to be good to yourself, to pat yourself on the back when you really need it, and to really discern the good and bad things that you may or may not need in your life. That's what friends are for. Friends and family are not only there to support you, but they're there to tell you what's real, what's good for you, what's bad for you. And that's something that you would know best, especially if you were to become your own best friend. So try to trust yourself a little bit more. Practice knowing what's good and bad for you, and practice being good to yourself. Practice becoming your own best friend. And sometimes being your own best friend also means that you need to talk to yourself a little bit. In talking to yourself, you better understand your feelings at a deeper level. You can actually physically talk to yourself, or maybe you can even think about it in your mind. When you give yourself that alone time to actually think about things, but as your own best friend, you better realize your core thoughts. You better understand them when you're actually listening to yourself, taking the time to listen to yourself. And that's all a part of becoming your own best friend. Third is to be friends with life. Being friends with life means that, depending on your mindset, that life isn't actually out to get you. Life is simply life. It's just how things are. Life is like, in the world of games, a setting with which rules are given because they are a part of that game. It's the same as the world. Things are how they are just because that's how it is. There is no good or bad intention coming from life towards you. In that sense, it's personal, and that just means the problem is with yourself, where you think that the world is out to get you. But if you can realize that life is simply what it is, it's life and no one can really define it, but it's not out to get anybody, you can better realize that there are so many things that you can accomplish because life exists. So many things that are possible simply because life exists. So when you change the mindset of how the world may be against you, changing your mindset instead to, maybe I can focus on better things in life, better opportunities, things that benefit me, things that can also benefit others. When you change your focus on things that stress you out in life, and instead on the things that are possible and what you can achieve, you're actively becoming friends with life instead of being stuck somewhere. Life is not really an enemy, it's more of a neutral, natural state. So when you allow yourself to feel that way, when you change your mindset on what life is, you're essentially also making yourself feel better because you're changing your mindset. Number 4, watching your thoughts. As I said before, everything you think about, whatever you focus on grows. And with people, we're not always 100% thinking positively. It's impossible. It's just in our human nature to think about both the good and the bad things, and even everything in between. So when you actively choose to pay attention to what you're thinking about, you can actively make the choices to change your thought process on whatever it is you may be thinking about. That's one of the biggest tools that we have as people. We have the ability to change our thought process just simply by watching what we think, being mindful, and being present in the moment. And number 5, acknowledging your fears. So what I mean by acknowledging your fears is not simply letting fears take over your life, more that you're acknowledging its existence, because fear is a natural part of ourselves. It's a natural thing in life. Fear will always be there, just as our negative thoughts will always be there. We can't think 100% positively. Fear is a natural thing. It's a natural instinct we have as people, more as a defense mechanism, if anything. In order for us to not allow fear to hold us back, we need to acknowledge that it's there and actively, again, choose to push past that. And that is the definition of being brave. In order to be brave, you need to acknowledge that you are afraid, but you choose to do something about it anyway. That helps you push aside fear and do what it is you set yourself out to do. In a sense, that's also like accepting life for what it is. Life is just a big scary place. It's a big scary world. And then when it comes to games, you know that there's all these dangers and fears present. Like you may fall, you may die, you may lose something precious to you. But there's always that risk in life. And that's when you ask yourself, is this risk worth taking? And that's always the question when it comes to taking risks. That was a quick 5 ways to how to feel better about yourself. I hope that helps, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.